In this lesson, we're going to take a look at pseudo elements and how we can do things like target the very first line within a paragraph, or maybe the first letter. Let's take a look, and this time I'm going to place the styling inline for convenience. Now, what you see right here, type equals text/CSS. If you add this on, you don't need to. Get rid of it. It will default to that, so it's not necessary, and it saves you a handful of characters and typing. Now, I'm going to type P:, 2 colons. This is a pseudo element, and now say first line. And we'll say maybe make the font weight bold, and the font size is 1.5 ems. So within the browsers that support it, and this is something that gracefully degrades, it's not a huge deal if it doesn't apply. It should take this very first line, or more specifically the first line as it fits within the browser window. So it might be even more than this. It's not based upon the HTML. So let's try it out. Reload, and now you can see it's based upon the container. So if we reduce the width, you can see that dynamically updates. So if your width is only around 500 pixels right here, it will only select those first 5 words. And this is where you can get kind of a book effect where you will have the text much larger. Maybe you want it 2.5 ems, and there we are. Now be careful, you don't have tons of control. So if you wanted to set maybe 100 pixels of margin below it, that's not going to apply based on the way it's targeted, but you can still style the text itself. Now, alternatively, what if we only want to style the first letter? And this is, again, like a book. If you want the very first letter to be floated to the left and much larger, how would we do that? Let's see. This time we say P, first letter. Now we're going to set the font size to 4 ems, definitely make it bold, then maybe we'll float it to the left. Reload, and now we're only targeting that specific one. And then if you want to add some padding to the right, maybe 8 pixels worth. And finally, we want to get maybe a fun font. So why don't we have a bonus here, and we will go to the Google Web Fonts directory and bring something in. And maybe I will sort it by something calligraphy. There we are. Let's quick use that. And I can scroll down, and you can see how easy it is to use this. This is an alternative to using font face. You can simply link to the font, Google hosts it, and you don't have to deal with the font face kits and things like that. Now to use it, we first bring in that link. I can also get rid of type. And then to reference it, we can do it like here. And we can provide a fallback to cursive if we want. Here I'll say font family is calligraphiti. And now, with that alone, you can see we have a custom font. Now, in hindsight, that's probably a terrible choice. It doesn't look too good in this case, but you can find something that looks a little bit better for your needs. And recently, Google Fonts have been updated with hundreds of choices. Just be careful because the quality level does go up and down, so you want to make sure that you choose wisely. But this is a neat effect. Target the first letter, and then you can really think outside the box for what's traditional for a website, and you can style things rather neatly. Now, the last thing worth noting is for compatibility's sake, because older browsers will support the single colon, I reload, you'll see it still takes effect. So a lot of people will tell you, and then they're probably right, that it's better to use the 1 colon because you support the new browsers that will look for that official syntax, but you also, by removing it, can reference older browsers that understand P colon first line, but don't understand P colon colon. Now, as I understand things though, in the future with new pseudo elements, the double colon syntax will be required. All right, that's going to do it for this lesson. In the next episode, we're going to step out of selectors and I'm going to teach you about the flexible box model, which is really neat.